Hey, what's up, Stay Tuners? It's your good friend Jimbo here, letting you know that today's podcast is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo. I recently joined as a member and you can too. Apply today and let them know that you heard from Stay Tuned Sports and you start earning today. That's podgo.co at podgo.co.
You heard the rest. Now here's the best Stay Tuned Sports Podcast.
And hello there, all you Stay Tuners. Welcome back to another episode of Stay Tuned Sports. It's your good friend Jimbo here on a very snowy, wintry weather here in northeast Pennsylvania. Yes, we're getting slammed right now with the snowstorm. Started a few hours ago. Gonna do some recording here with you guys, talk some football with you, and then head outside and snow blow my sidewalks. But lot to talk about with especially with football this past weekend. Jalen Hurts starting with the Eagles, finally breaking our 3-4 game losing streak we had going on there. Thought he did okay. Wasn't the greatest. Wasn't, Joe Montana-esque, but he wasn't Tim Couch, So, but before we get all into the topics and the subjects, head over to staytunedsports.net so you can follow all our social media accounts, which is on the right-hand side there. And the drop-down menu has our merchandise tab and how you can contact us if you want to be on the show or something like that. But you definitely want to head over there to click on our Twitter account if you're not following us already. So that way, this weekend's Notre Dame-Clemson game, you could enter yourself to win a Stay Tuned Sports t-shirt. Now, how we're setting up this giveaway, I'm going to start a game day thread Saturday. Kickoff is at 4, so I'll do a few hours before then. And to enter, all you have to do is guess the total combined points for both teams, and also who do you think is going to win, and that will be the tiebreaker. Tiebreaker will be who you think is going to win. And if there's a tie with points and the picked winner for the game, I will put everybody's name in a hat that picked those two topics or whatever you want to call it. I'll videotape me pulling the name out, and then I'll get in touch with you guys on Twitter via message. Also, we are going to do just like the last Clemson Notre Dame game. We're going to be back on Podbean Live. Me and hopefully King will be doing a live reaction to the game, plus talking other sports as the game's going on to kind of give that bar feel interaction with you guys. See how you feel about the game and how it's going and everything. Hopefully it's a good game. Don't want to jinx us too much. I don't want to say I think we're going to lose. I don't want to say I think we're going to win. I don't think it's going to be as good of game as it was the last time. I mean, that was by far the best college football game this year, I think, honestly, in my opinion. And not just because I'm a Notre Dame fan, but double overtime victory for Notre Dame. A lot of momentum changes between teams throughout that game. But this time around, Trevor Lawrence, as of right now, as of this recording, is healthy. Is supposed to start. Unlike the last game, he tested positive for COVID. It was on the COVID list. I just think, honestly, I think Notre Dame, as far as Notre Dame goes, offensively, stick with the same game plan. Get that running game going. Ian Book's been very hot all season long, but we have to get going right from the get start. The past couple games we've been slow going until the second half, and was able to start generating some offense and points. Can't do that against Clemson. Can't do that against these top schools that are normally in the college playoff talks. If you want to be a champion, national title champion, you have to start fast, and you have to finish fast. Can't just play fast the first 2 quarters and take it off the third or fourth. This right here is our season. We lose this, I cannot see the playoff committee putting us in the playoffs. Ohio State is playing Northwestern. I hope Northwestern knocks them off, just because how that whole ordeal went down. The Big Ten has a win requirement or game requirement to be able to be eligible for the Big Ten championship. Ohio State, being that Michigan did not play Ohio State did not hit the requirement, which means Indiana should have been playing for the championship game. But the Big Ten committee got together and said, well, basically it's different times right now because of the pandemic, so we got to kind of bend the rules. Now, all that said was Ohio State makes the money for us. They have the best chance to win a national title for us. Let's stick them in there. So, fortunately, Indiana got screwed over. Hopefully, Northwestern wins. You're figuring Alabama's going to be there. If Ohio State wins, they're going to have to be in there. And then whoever wins this game is going to be the third team. I cannot see, even if Clemson loses, cannot see them being in the playoffs. So I think whoever wins this is in, whoever loses it is out. And that's going to be my prediction as far as this game goes. But make sure you guys tune in. Podbean Live. You got to download the Podbean app. Search for us, and we'll be live. And like I said, we take callers. You can join in. Like last time we had Jeff join us for pretty much the whole game there, and pretty cool dude. Jalen Hurts had his first career NFL start this past weekend with the Philadelphia Eagles. And I mean, the team did look more motivated, played a lot better. Didn't give up any sacks, but there was a lot of pressure still. There was still a lot of breakdowns, it seemed, with the offensive line, the pocket collapsing. But the one thing I noticed with Hurts compared to Wentz is when that pocket did start collapsing, Hurts took off, and took off north. Not, drops back 5 more yards, runs around, try to buy time. He just took off and got some yards. His passing stat line was okay. I think 56% pass percentage, only 170 yards passing, but also had 14 rushes. Now, I would say, honestly, maybe half of those were him scrambling and not quarterback designed runs, but he also had 100 yards rushing. My issue with this game plan was these are all type of plays that you should have been calling for Carson Wentz. A lot of rollouts for Hurts to get outside and if nothing in there, take off. We all know Wentz is more accurate outside the pocket than inside the pocket. Ran the ball a lot more. Was able to get Miles Sanders going, which relieved some of the pressure. A lot of short passes. He only went downfield maybe 3-4 times. Whereas if it's Wentz, you're passing 40 times a game. I think Hurts only passed maybe 25, 30. I think he passed 30. I think because I've always said if you have more than 30 pass attempts, it's tough to win in this league. Unless you're Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady. But when you're a young quarterback, it's tough. The one player I want to call out, and I think I'm surprised they haven't brought any competition in for him, is Jake Elliott. Dude, what is going on with you? 22-yard field goal, a chip shot. That is basically a extra point, and you miss it wide left. This is not the first one this year. This is like third, fourth, fifth. What happened? And I saw someone put on Twitter, once the kicker loses his confidence, he's done in the league. Look at Cody Parkey, who was with Philly. Same situation. He was, a very good kicker for us for some time, and then start missing them and lost his confidence, and now he's been bouncing around between teams. Had a double doink against us, for Christ's sake. And Philly didn't bring any kickers in to try out. Mathematically, we're still in the hunt for the playoff. What happens if you make it to playoffs? Do you have enough confidence in Elliott for a game-winning 22-yard field goal when you only need 2 points? I'm not. I'd be closing my eyes, and wait for Merle Reese to give the call of the game. But the one thing I do want to talk about with it, this win, didn't really feel like a win though. And it's not because of an ugly win or, things of like that nature, but us Eagles fans. Okay, I know I've been against drafting Hurts in the second round. Yes, I am a Wentz fan, but overall, I'm an Eagles fan. And all I see on Facebook and Twitter is Eagles fans that are purely Hurts fans bashing people that support Carson Wentz. Oh, you're not true an Eagles fan. Why? Because he doesn't like what certain people don't like the player you like, and then you try to throw out stats that aren't accurate. Well, it's the same team, same offensive line. No, it's not. This past week's offensive line was the 13th offensive lineup change in I think like 12 games or something. And now we lost Jack Driscoll, so it's going to be 14 lineups now. Now, was Hurts? You look at the stat line. Like I said, 179 yards passing. I think his QBR was like 80, 85, which is about average. An average quarterback. Wasn't that much better than Wentz. I think the only difference was that made it feel like Hurts was a lot better than Wentz was that when plays broke down, he took off. Seemed quicker. And it's possible because again, Carson tore that knee up a couple years ago, and obviously you're going to lose some speed. Defensively, played a lot better. And I actually had my dad text me asking, why does this seem like the team is playing a lot better for Hurts? Well, here's my thing. When a team is willing to bench a $128 million player, I'm not even going to say quarterback, but player, I think that opens up some players' eyes and says, you know what, if they're willing to do that, they're willing to bench a veterans minimum player. Not saying that's why Josh Sweat had a very good game. I mean, he's been good all year. But I think that opens up some players' eyes and makes them more motivated to play a little harder and get that extra yard or extra tackle. As far as like I said, I thought he played well. Didn't play great because let's face the facts. He had that nearly costly fumble at the end of the game that could have got the other team back into it, the Saints back into it. Let me use that play for example to show you how this divide amongst Eagles fans is going right now. If Carson Wentz would have been in the same situation and fumbled that ball, some fans would have been like, oh, well, trade him away. He stinks. He leads the league in fumbles. Yes, I know. I understand all that. But Hurts fumbles. Oh, that was a textbook punch out. Nothing he could do there. Yeah. Hold on to the ball a little tougher. A little tighter. Hold it closer to your body. And that, gets all these Eagles fans bashing one another. You look at the Steelers, as much as I've been bashing their fans. Lost this past weekend. It's 2 games in a row they lost. They lost to the Buffalo Bills this past week. You don't see their fans pointing fingers at each other. Oh, well, if Juju didn't dance on the logo, we would have won. Other Steelers fans, oh, well, if Big Ben didn't throw an interception, you don't hear any of that. You hear their fans pissed. What's going on with the team? Us Eagles fans need to get over the fact that Hurts is our starting quarterback, most likely for the rest of the year. Peterson hasn't committed to that part of it. He said it's basically going to be a week-to-week type deal. But we need to accept the fact Carson ain't going nowhere. That contract has him stuck to the Eagles at least for the next 2 years. After 2021, there's no more dead money. We could cut him free with no implications. But we got the Cardinals this week. I'll be curious to see how Hurts does. If I were to grade him on his game against the Saints, I'd give him a B, maybe a B plus. Probably dropped him to a B because of the fumble. Like I said, that was a nearly costly play that got the Saints back into the game. So one thing I want to talk about is Davante Adams. A couple weeks ago, I believe he tweeted out that he thinks he's the number 1 receiver in the NFL. And it got me thinking, to look into it and see, because it seems like every week his name is being brought up in scoring breaks or game breaks at least twice a game. So I started doing some digging and background check on him with the stats and stuff like that. And when you think of number 1 receivers in the NFL, you think of Julio Jones or DeAndre Hopkins. But honestly, I think Davante Adams is the best receiver in the NFL right now. You look at Julio Jones and DeAndre Hopkins. Just a little background on him. He has three Pro Bowls already, okay? He has 2 1,000-yard seasons with 3 more that he was like 850 and 900 yards. So he was nearly 5 1,000-yard seasons. He's been number 1 or 2 in touchdowns 4 of the past 5 years. When you look at Julio Jones, his receiving yards, he's 3rd or 4th. Davante Adams, in those years when Julio was 3rd or 4th, was 1 or 2. DeAndre Hopkins, okay, receptions is tough to beat Hopkins with, but he actually has more receptions than DeAndre Hopkins. So how can you not say he's not the number 1 guy wide receiver in the NFL? And what's even more surprising, you hear the MVP battle is coming down to Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. Davante Adams has, 8 straight games so far with the receiving touchdown. Patrick Mahomes, you got to look at the offense he has, the players around. Tyreek Hill, he's got 2 or 3, very, very good skill players. Aaron Rodgers, I think really MVP race should come down to Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. What other receivers does Aaron Rodgers have? And to take that a step further, the fact that they don't really have any other options other than Davante Adams means he's probably facing more double teams or even triple teams, and he's still putting out numbers. He's definitely my vote for Offensive Player of the Year. I cannot believe he is not in the MVP talk. So before we go, let's do our weekly blue picks.
Fourth and 5. Jones steps up, takes off, he's in! Touchdown!
Third down and 3. Jackson has all day. Looking deep for Hollywood Brown again. He's got it! Brown off to the races! And he stays on his feet! Touchdown!
And here is your blue picks of the week. Brought to you by Skunk Duck Studios, the best ducking designs on the web. That's right, it's time for our weekly blue picks, which is our blowout, locks, and upset picks. Last week, I was way off. Let's be honest here. I had Eagles getting blown out by the Saints. They pull up the upset. I had the Dolphins upsetting I had the Chiefs blowing out the Dolphins, and the Dolphins almost upset them, which was quite surprising. I still think they're going to be my dark horse next year with Tua as quarterback and team another year underneath their belt should only make them that much better. So, kicking off this week's blue picks, my blowout pick this week, since I was talking about Davante Adams, going with Green Bay over the Panthers. Green Bay is favored by 8.5. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams playing like MVP candidates. Really, the only weapon the Panthers have is Christian McCaffrey, and he is doubtful for this game. So this could be over very soon, especially if Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams click right off the bat. You may see Adams get 2 or 3 touchdowns this game, well over 100 yards receiving. My lock pick this week is the Titans over the Lions. Titans favored by 10.5. Lions giving up 130 yards rushing. I mean, this screams fantasy start Derrick Henry at running back. You see what he does against top tier defenses. And now it seems like, Tennessee's kind of getting back into the swing of things of winning, especially with the past 4 weeks putting up 30 plus points a game. Much like my prediction last week with the Chiefs and the Dolphins, just don't think the Lions have the firepower to keep up with them. I think the Lions are averaging only like 20 points a game. Tennessee's averaging 30 plus. Tannehill is playing very well. But again, I think this is going to be a Derrick Henry type game. Could be definitely over the 10.5 point spread. I could see Tennessee winning by. Then for my upset, going with the Giants over the Browns. Giants are 5-point underdogs. I know Daniel Jones might be not starting this week because of an injury, but the defense is just playing really good as of late. Now, granted, the Browns have been putting up some points, but I kind of think if the Giants defense could clamp down that offense and keep this game close, that's the key. If they could keep it close, I think the Giants could pull it out. Colt McCoy is not like I always keep saying, Joe Montana, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, but he's a game manager. He's doesn't give up many turnovers, or forced turnovers, I should say. Like if it's triple coverage, he doesn't try to force the ball in there. He takes off and lives to fight another day. If the Giants could keep this game close, I really think they could pull the upset here and defeat the Browns. So I think that's going to be it for this week. I got to head outside now, go play in the snow, come back in and go watch Christmas Chronicles 2 with my family. Been putting it off for a couple weeks now. Head over to staytunesports.net. Make sure you click the Twitter social media account because, again, Saturday, the Notre Dame game, I'll start a game day thread, put the combined total points for the game, and who you think is going to win to enter a chance at winning a Stay Tuned Sports t-shirt of your choice. So, till next week, this is your good friend Jimbo, signing out.